Should we Willy Wonka this weird intro? How we just?
I don't know what Willy Wonka means. We're talking about that 90s show. So, welcome
Willy
to
Wham
the
Wham
video.
Wazzle.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but
Welcome back to Coming This Summer. Dick. JB Martin, Ryan Stewart, Bad Sharp. It's finally happened. That 90s show dropped.
woo. After the 70s was about 50. After 50 years
About time.
Yeah. 50
No.
years later we get that 90s show. Yeah, nice.
You know, Netflix is not
Known for putting
lately
out
hasn't been doing
sequels,
so good for stuff.
Yeah.
But
I didn't watch Fuller House, but this is
Fuller
kind
House
of
was
what
pretty decent.
seems
actually,
like what they
for the
want from
reboot.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I watched the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, you did.
Last night.
And I haven't watched
You
any of
haven't.
the episodes.
So you wanted some. You said you're gonna do
Yeah,
some
so
questions.
this is like a before you watch. Yeah.
Semi spoilers. You know,
Semi-spoilers. But
I
we
won't-
know all the characters show up. Right.
over the course.
Everybody
of the show,
knows
yeah.
the cast shows up. So that's not spoilers that they show up,
Yeah.
you know. What's the premise of the show? Give me the premise of the show.
So it's
Foreman.
Eric and Donna show up to visit Red and Kitty
Riddy.
for Riddy and
That's
Ked.
their ship name.
Riddy and Ked, yeah. Red and Kitty for 4th of July. 95, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought it was 97. So this is even a little young for me.
So they'll probably
'Cause
go 5 seasons
I was
then, right?
not
You
even in
know?
middle school yet
Okay.
when the show starts.
Yeah. The show will end with Y2K and it'll actually be the apocalypse, you know what I mean?
The real ending we
Yeah.
deserved. So they show up on like July 3rd. It's cool because it comes right out. It does the like Point Place, Wisconsin.
Okay.
You know, the Foreman's residence,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
okay.
oh, goosebumps.
Yeah.
And they show up at the it starts with them dancing like a Red and Kitty, and
Okay.
you feel you're
Like
like
in the trailer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
yeah.
And they're dancing to I can't remember the 90s song right now, but it's like one of the classic 90s dance songs, and they're like
That's
they're
kind of
they're
fun.
busting,
Yeah, okay. That's
and then
fun.
Eric gets there. She's like, "Oh, the door!" And then then it's okay.
Topher Grace? I'm
It's
going to ask
Topher-
about Topher
He
Grace.
doesn't look like he aged a goddamn
No,
day.
because he didn't. I'm telling
It's
you, you could put him in
gross.
Spider-Man as Venom right now, like nothing ever happened, and you could plug and play him anywhere. Yeah.
Red and Kitty look amazing for as many years as it's been. Also,
Donna, is she rough? No.
I mean, I don't want people to think I'm being sexist, but out of everybody so far,
Yeah.
she probably.
Well, Ashton Kutcher hasn't aged.
she was older a couple years than a
Oh,
few
okay.
of them. I feel like though,
That makes
too.
sense though, because she did look like the oldest out of
Right.
all of them in that.
But
you
she's
know
still
what I mean?
great.
Okay.
Eric, every single one of those characters, the OG characters, you would honestly think that they just stopped filming in the off season. It's fall now, and they're back to filming a new season. The chemistry was all there. The line delivery, the foot up your ass, the cutting each other. It was all amazing.
Okay.
Like Kitty smelling Eric's hair because she hasn't seen him since Christmas, and he's like, "Mom, it's really," you know what I mean? It's all the deadpan delivery that Eric, the dead eyes.
You're selling me so far, and you're selling me to a point where I'm like, man, I need to go back and watch some that 70s show. Yeah.
So here are the problems.
I need to ask about the kids.
Okay, the daughter, first of all, his name's Leia, which is the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know,
Star
Princess
Wars.
Leia.
Yep,
And
that's
there's,
funny.
There's a scene where he goes, Leia Tatooine Foreman, and Donna
Fuck.
goes, that is not her middle name. And I was like dying because
Okay.
they, I won't spoil it for you, but they do a different twist of the walls moving.
I would groan at that joke though.
There's a
You
lot
know
of
what I mean?
groaners,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
you can clearly see
Like, haha.
the
Okay.
pilot is definitely the
they do
roughest
have
episode.
to sell the fact that it is not the 70s. And
No,
that
but
it
they
has
also have to
progressed
sell you that
time.
it is the same cast
But it's the same.
with the same humor
Yes.
and their same groaniness because that's
It's
the
just
same
they
people.
now get to make 80s and 90s
Right,
references.
right.
Fine.
So there are
Fine.
the
No problem
pilot
with
is
that.
the worst
Yeah.
with the groaners, and I will say my biggest problem with the show,
That's every show though.
especially the pilot though,
Okay.
is the laugh track. They let somebody go fucking bananas on the laugh track. Hey, how are you? Ha, 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 ha. What's going on? Ha, 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 ha.
Oh,
Now,
no.
episode 2 and 3 are not like that.
Okay.
The pilot is overproduced.
They fire the guy after the pilot.
I want you to watch it because you'll see what I'm talking about. The
Can we
pilot
take
is,
the laugh track out?
That's
That's impossible.
It
Yeah.
needs to be.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
The pilot is overproduced. The kids.
Yeah.
The first episode, they're not great. A
No?
couple of them are okay.
Do we
but
get a
here's
basement
the
with all the
problem.
kids?
Yes.
Do we get a
Here's-
basement with the adults?
No, they do a scene where they're like, "You're upstairs, people now," and
That's
Donna's
funny.
like, "I never thought this day would come," because they're
That's
spinning
funny.
around. They're like just eating sandwiches and stuff. It's so funny. No, but here's I think the main problem with the pilot is, and there's nothing you could do about this besides the laugh track that you could fix. But
Uh-huh.
you get the original cast, and the chemistry is just 10. They're on fire. They're so happy
And
to be
you're
there.
like, that show.
Then you cut
I
to
want to
the
watch
kids,
that show.
and the kids are they're all clunky kid actors.
Mm.
And then it takes a little bit.
They're all clunky kid actors who haven't been in anything else.
Pretty much.
They're not like,
No.
Finn Wolfhard is Eric's son, and I'd be like, oh, at least he can act. You know what I mean?
There's a best friend that moves into where Donna's house was. This is where she becomes. That's their new irritating neighbor. Instead of Donna's dad, it's a mom.
Sure.
And now she comes over all the time. And
But Donna's dad is in the show, right?
Eventually,
they just moved.
It looks like, yeah.
But why didn't they just put him as the neighbor still?
Because he probably had a career. I'm sure that had some reason. He probably didn't want to be in every episode. That's
sure.
Why
True. Yeah.
But this time, instead of Red having the irritating neighbor, now it's a girl for Kitty to be friends with, and Red. So they kind of try to change the dynamic there, which I appreciate.
It's like what we want for Bob's Burgers in the Jimmy Pesto thing.
Kinda. They kinda did that.
Okay. All right.
She tries to be like super friendly to her, and still irritates Red. But you can kind of see at least they're kind of going. You know what I mean? Like,
is Red calmed down a little bit? Because no, they didn't. Oh wow. Okay. My dad calmed down
a little.
When he got older.
Like it starts and he's happy, but he's like begging her, "Don't do this again." Okay. So I'll just So basically, I don't want to go nuts here, but I'm just basically the pilot. So she doesn't want to go. They're supposed to be going to like space camp and Star Wars camp, and she's like, I don't want to go. Like, and then so she meets the next door neighbor girl, who she's overacting too hard in the first episode. Okay. She's not a bad actress, but you could see like she was trying to carry all the kids, and it wasn't. It was
working?
too much.
Oh, okay, all right.
The daughter's okay.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it, but there's a reason some of the characters in the trailer were doing stupid things the way that they looked at. They were stupid because there might be a backstory or history to some of the characters.
Kids in the show aren't like everybody's kids.
Not all of them, but there are some things that they will give you a.
But like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have kids, right?
I don't want to spoil anything because there are one or two, like they hit you with
the way the trailer showed it was like these are all the kids of those.
It makes it seem like nobody lives in
that 70s
nobody
show.
lives in town. It seems like they all left from the first 3 episodes minus Fez.
That's funny.
And Fez steals the second or the third episode. It is
okay. I want to see adult Fez.
Amazing.
That's really funny.
But after the pilot, I will say this: the pilot is one of the better pilots I've seen. If it wasn't the laugh track to death, the kids' groaner jokes and the kids getting chemistry takes a little bit.
Yeah.
But by the second episode, they decide they got they the walls when he smokes. They changed. Like she comes upstairs high. And they do a whole different thing, which I thought was creative, but I still really wanted my walls to move.
Yeah.
Because it's too much for what they do. It's like you'd be on acid.
It's like cutting a kitty.
You'd be on acid.
It's cutting the Red or
it's funny.
Eric, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, they do the whole thing like.
What? Yeah.
They go to the basement, they clean it out, and then they're like, oh, here's your old mom and dad's stuff right here. And it's like board games, and they pull the bag out, and they're like, oh my God. So then they all smoke, and they're like, well, I want Raisin Bran. And she's like, I'm going upstairs to get Raisin Bran. I mean, it's just like there's a couple plot points right from that 70s show. Like they got to get a keg.
Sure.
A tap for a keg, just like the first episode of that 70s show. So they did some throwbacks, but I don't know. I was impressed. I was worried. I was watching it like, but then I'm like, I'm 3 episods in. I got to slow down.
Is
this
the whole
is
show
actually
out?
pretty. Yeah.
How many episodes?
All 10.
Okay, 10 episodes. I'll ask a final question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the first 3 episodes, and how does it compare to Blockbuster?
Okay, it's funny because I did only make it through 3 of Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It is okay. Blockbuster felt like they had. Okay, I'm gonna do a sports analogy. Just because you have a bunch of superstars on a team does not mean that team is going to win games. You have to have
Blockbuster
chemistry.
has J.B. Smoove, Melissa Fumero, and Randall Park.
Yeah.
From
in
Ant-Man,
theory,
the Ant-Man movies. Yeah.
In theory, that should have been.
That's you
home
cannot
run.
make a bad show.
Right.
If me and you,
there was no chemistry,
no script, and they're like, make a show with these 3, I'd be like, I will make you the best show with those 3 because they're them, and I can.
But it hurt.
I don't need to write anything. You know what I
would think
mean?
you'd let
Like,
them play out.
just do whatever.
Blockbuster, we should do like an overall review. It just there's no chemistry and everything felt forced and the era was wrong and everything was just wrong about that show.
Because
I
that's
didn't
also
laugh,
like a 90s set show.
but they said it now.
Oh, they did?
The Blockbuster show.
Oh.
Yeah, that's another reason why it was garbage.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not set at like the height of Blockbuster.
It's the last one.
That's right. You're right. They're
but
closing
it's like,
them all.
It's so dumb. But this, that show, like honestly, I don't know if I laughed one time. Like it was really bad. Blockbuster.
Do you think a laugh track would have helped that show?
No. No, I would give the pilot like a 6.5.
Yeah.
For a pilot, But the second episode is like a 7, and by the third one, it's like a nice.
It's like that 70's show.
It's that 70's show.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You got your cheesy groaners, but then you got your like
Do you hope
really
it goes
funny,
for
ridiculous stuff.
5 seasons at least, like a couple
I hope
seasons.
we get a few seasons.
Yeah, maybe not 5. You said 95, so it would make sense for them to go all the way to the 2000s. You know what I mean?
I think so. I think they
Yeah.
should have did more than 10 because they're 25-minute episodes.
Wow.
The first
yeah.
one's 30, but the second and third are like 23, 24
People watch
minutes.
that in like a day, yeah, and then nobody will
and
talk
I've noticed
about
most
it.
of the people online, most of the negative from all the like the publications, and it actually has decent reviews. But the negative ones are they lean too much on the past. There's a reason for that.
But that's like
really
the joke,
good,
though, right?
though.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
okay.
on the past, they mean like the other, like the characters in Red and Kitty.
I see what
but
you're saying. I see what you're saying. Not like the time
it's
period.
kind of
that
like
it
the
is.
Red and
Yeah.
Kitty show.
Okay.
Like, it's split really
Which they
even.
should be the leads if you
Right.
have kid actors
It's so
taking point as
so
the,
funny. They get
in
high
place
and
of
they
the
go
other kid
upstairs
actors.
and they're like in Red and Kitty's room, which like Eric never went in. You know?
Wow,
And they're like
yeah.
in there and they're like, "Oh, is it okay? We're in here." And she's like, "Yeah, we only live life once. Let's get in here." And they're like going through his closet and then
Jesus.
they walk in and then they like, oh man, it's
I'll watch it. You're selling me.
it's good.
I'm worried about the kids, but obviously kid actors are gonna
By
be kid actors.
there's
you know?
there's like 2 that I don't really like. But,
Okay.
But for the most part, they're pretty good. Like I just feel like they needed to get through the first episode. And when you'll know what I'm talking about, the laugh track is unbearable in the first episode.
Okay.
It reminds me of a Disney show. Like seriously, like knock,
Yeah.
knock, knock, come in. Oops. Ha 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 ha. How was your day? Crazy. Ha 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 ha.
my
And you're like,
God.
oh my god, I know in the laugh.
What am I
guys.
watching? Fucking Jesse?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like she pops up, she hears the neighbor dancing, her friend that she meets, and the laugh track's laughing because she's dancing to a 90s song like Nirvana or whatever. And then like she pops up in the window and she's
Is
like,
that Batman song?
but I would highly recommend it. I'll probably finish the show tonight if I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
I was impressed. I would have stayed up
I'll
even
watch
later.
it. If you finish it, we'll do
Okay.
a full review of the
We'll
show next
do a
week.
full review.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you go in expecting that 70s show style of a show, my biggest thing forgot.
It's a sitcom.
It's a sitcom. I don't
With a laugh
like
track.
that they didn't do a filter over it. So it feels,
Now,
it's too now feeling.
Yeah.
Even though it's perfect, it looks,
You know
when
what
the
you need to
camera
do then?
pans, it just needs a grade over it.
you know what you need to
Yeah.
do then.
Yeah, I'm already.
I need
So I'm already ahead of you. I
the
already
90s
have
bean
a,
cut.
anyway, it's beautiful. Like when they do that shot and they're dancing in the very opening scene after they do the, the
Intro?
black cards and everything.
Oh.
Like point place.
Yeah.
They do like a sweeping thing of the kitchen, and it's like the background things are the same. Like the little like
Wow.
salt and pepper shakers are exact, and you're like, oh my god. And Michelle's like, ah.
Is
So-
the intro good?
No,
No.
it's not as bad as I thought,
Okay.
but it's not
But
great.
the song
The
sucks.
song's not great.
Yeah. Damn.
The
They should have
intro's-
just used the original
The
song.
intro's cool because they took the car out. Instead, she's got like a video camera and everybody's waving and they're like going through the house like. And they're
That's a
playing
little
the
bit
song
more
real
like
fast. So
now,
they 90s
yeah,
did up.
Yeah. It's like Malcolm in the Middle
Yeah.
kind of ish.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, like I had high expectations, and the fact that I don't hate it should tell you.
Yeah.
And
no,
you know how worried I
you
was.
sound
I had
pretty
super high
jazzed, yeah,
expectations.
so
I was scoffing at the end of the first one, but I was like, it was better than I thought. Let's watch the second one. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, okay.
I'll put it on. Yeah, I'll put it on for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be blown away by the Eric, Kitty, and Red dynamic. You're just gonna be like,
Yeah, I'm
Jesus
just excited to
Christ,
see
man.
Topher Grace
yeah.
in anything again. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's check it out. It's the best thing Netflix has put out for a comedy in a while.
Okay.
For
yeah.
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Go watch it. That 90s show.
Do it.
Now.
Do we have stock in Netflix now? Or?
We own it. Or Bob Netflix.
I'm Bob and Jim Netflix. Yeah.